Hello, welcome to my short introduction to Cut Up Solo, the Scarlet Pimpernel. So this is my 23rd Cut Up book, and the source is the Scarlet Pimpernel by Baroness Orczy. So what you get is the fairly standard fare. Now, one of the interesting things about this one is GURPS actually have a supplement dedicated to the Scarlet Pimpernel, which makes this an interesting companion. The GURPS book can give you loads of factual information and game stats and all sorts to support a game, um, using cut-ups. So yeah, that was interesting. So I've linked to it in the book there, and so the rest of the preamble is pretty much as you have seen before. So here's a little example. I've shown the two methods that I use. The first is just taking, just a few snippets and turning them into this kind of almost little haiku type uh, verse. And here it says, "The edge of the cliff, heavy rain was round. We waste time, sir." Now, the first two parts of that, the edge of the cliff and heavy rain, for me that creates an entire picture, and I also imagine it being dark at night, heavy clouds, all that sort of thing. So I found that quite evocative. And the waste time, we waste time, sir. I imagine that as dialogue. So I've introduced the first NPC. Now I started with the same three snippets and then expanded it into an entire paragraph. And now you can see the red here. I've removed that character's name because I felt that it was me that was being addressed. I've inserted the word for, um, just for legibility, and I removed the word in for exactly that reason. So I'm making tiny little tweaks. But the second version reads, "Edge of the cliff, heavy rain was round. We waste time, sir," he said quietly, staring curiously yet deferentially. "We have already wasted much for me to leave for the London drawing rooms." So, but almost everything after deferentially is more dialogue. Um, and so that and what we've got now, since this is obviously an Anglo-French novel, this gives me the direction of travel. So it sounds like I have arrived on the cliffs of Dover and I am heading for London, which would makes perfect sense. And if I'm heading to London to the London drawing rooms, it's probably carrying news. And so this little next section here explains my thinking and all the kind of the imagery that the snippets create. Now, with the snippets comes a spreadsheet. You get two formats, uh, one in ODS and one in Excel. And so the open document spreadsheet in Excel. And if you ever lose them for anything in the book, there is a short link to the spreadsheets. I've zipped them up and uploaded them so you can download them from there. The uh, the spreadsheets contain 20,000 snippets. The books contain two sets of 1,000 snippets. So pressing on, there's also this find function, which I'll show you in a second, and there's a very, very simple D6 driven yes no oracle with examples. And that there's the yellow blue is just snippets and my interpretation, snippets, my interpretation, example, you know, just a few turns just to get the feel for it. Now, normally I use these three snippets in that little haiku format. I break my own rule here just because um, that little line of dialogue kind of really, when I had the list of snippets, that just really stuck out that should be on the ends there. Um, so yeah, there's kind of introduced a couple of kind of extra NPCs. Then you a little bit more. You get this kind of dialogue speech in here, kind of a dialect there, and then that's the end of the example of play. And then you've got the sort of a little bit of extra thoughts at the end. Then we get the snippets. Now these are two sets, and you've got two sets of 1,000. Now, if you hold down Alt on your keyboard, you can actually highlight one column at a time, um, and you can copy and paste that into a text editor. Or I found if you turn words and turn the page landscape and do 3 or 4 columns, you can actually see a lot of snippets all at once if you're working digitally. And so that's it. That makes up the rest of the book. It's just these two massive lists of 2,000 snippets. So that's that. Now the spreadsheet, um, the help just tells you what's on each tab here. So the snippets here, you get 20 at once, and pressing F9 on your keyboard will refresh them, and you can just copy and paste them straight um, uh, into your text editor or Word or whatever you want. Now you also have this extra tab which has got the entire text of the novel all randomized. In fact, if you sort it by column B, you put it back in order and you could read the novel in a very strange way. But yeah, you can dip into that. You can print off, say, 100, 200 lines at once. Just print them off, and you can make extra little worksheets to take away, which expands it to work completely analog. But you can also, because say my character was on a rowing boat getting out to a ship. Now I could do Control F and I could search for boat and then find every reference to boats in the book. And there you go. I've got 18 snippets, and I can just, rather than randomly hoping that I find a reference to a boat, um, to the rowing boat, I can, I could, just take it directly from here. I could have put in rowing, find all, and there's another set of, oh, that's picked up growing there as well. But I could have searched for that. You can search for pistol if you're going into kind of an action scene, and there's this one, it happens to only have one, but you can search for whatever. So, oops, yeah, that was better. So you can get a selection of words that way. So that's using the spreadsheet either as completely random snippets, or you can search for keywords, and then you find just it's easy to find just the right word to fit into your paragraphs. So that's it. That's kind of a whirlwind tour of Cut Up Solo and this particular book. This book was inspired by someone that had my last one, which was the Count of Monte Cristo. So these are kind of in the same kind of vein, that kind of revolutionary France, Napoleonic kind of era. And I'm very, very tempted to maybe do The Man in the Iron Mask and The Three Musketeers, just to kind of round out and give you a really, really wide-ranging set of snippets to work with for that kind of campaign. Okay, thank you for watching. That's it.